Right guys, hope you're all excited for Warlords of New York, which will be going live tomorrow morning at 12 AM for Xbox One and PS4. Now I made a video about a week ago talking about the lack of replayable game modes coming with this expansion, and by lack of I mean none, and how I thought this may come back to bite the developers if they continue on this path. In that same video, however, I said we had very little information about seasons, and wanted to see what this had to offer because it could be the saving grace. As of Wednesday, we have all of the details of seasons, and I want to discuss whether or not this is going to be enough. I'd appreciate your own thoughts and opinions in the comments below, so let's begin. Now I want to preface this video, like so many I feel, by saying that although we have a lot of details now about seasons and all the content coming with Warlords of New York, I'm 99% sure there is more coming than what we've been told. This expansion is pretty huge and would have taken a very long time to create, so it's very unlikely they are going to reveal everything before we get a chance to actually play the content. I've seen various videos and some conversations where there are certainly hints at things to come once the main campaign has been completed, things the devs have not revealed yet, so bear that in mind. So let's talk about seasons. Now I've covered these in my Wednesday video, but I wanted to go over seasons in a bit more detail here. Seasons are 12 weeks long, and each season will have an array of different things, with each week offering new stuff to play, which should help keep the game fresh with content on a weekly basis. This is what the first season is going to look like. The first season will start on March 10th, so just 1 week after Warlords has launched, and this will introduce a new Manhunt target. Now these Manhunt targets unlock every 3 weeks in a season. In the second week, starting March 17th, we'll get the first league, which is the West Side League, followed by the first global event 1 week later, the Polarity Switch event. It's worth remembering that all of this stuff runs on top of the regular endgame activities we're used to, like the weekly invasions for example. So that's kind of like a brief overview. Let's take a deeper look at what these kind of things are going to look like and what they're going to offer. Each season revolves around 4 manhunts, with each new one unlocking every 3 weeks and replacing the old. Once the manhunt goes active, so the first one being March the 10th, they essentially work with other factions to take over a huge portion of the map, whether that be New York or DC. Now as you can see on the screenshot here, you will be required to complete certain activities on your way to finding the prime target. The prime target is the one in the middle. So at the top we've got 3 control points, we've got 1 bounty, and then we've got the DCD headquarters mission. In completing these activities and the 4 pillars around the central target, you will learn of their relationship with the prime target. Once you have found and defeated the main target or the prime target, this will unlock a new skill variant exclusive to this activity that will be added to your arsenal. This mission area will be revamped to give the prime target encounter a new feel. This pursuit to neutralize the prime target will be very much story driven, a narrative based kind of mission setup, and will carry on from where the campaign ends. Now moving on to leagues, and this is going to be mainly for the hardcore audience and those who really want to challenge themselves. Leagues are going to be skill challenges, and they run every 2 weeks. As you can see from this screenshot, there are 6 activities to complete. 4 of them are time trials, requiring you to complete those missions on the required difficulty in the time allotted. There are 2 other activities that are less hardcore and just a bit more time consuming. Take the Outcast Kills example here that we saw on Wednesday's stream. There are 10 stages, starting with 15 killed elites and going all the way up to 250 killed elites. There will be leaderboards for leagues as well, so you can compare how you are doing against others. Next up we have global events. Now if you're a Division 1 player, you'll know all about these, but if you're not, well, this is what they are. These are opt-in events that apply unique modifiers to your experience. The devs revealed the first one called Polarity Switch. During the event you are charged either positively or negatively. This charge can be changed a couple of ways: reloading your weapon, changing weapons, or even punching an NPC. When your charge matches that of the NPC, you can earn up to 5 stacks of additional damage. On the contrary, if you shoot an NPC with the wrong polarity, not only will you do very little damage and lose the stacks you may have gained, you will get a shock after 1 warning shot. It's a juggling act of shooting the right enemy with the right polarity, and can get increasingly difficult when you start adding global directives to this as well. On top of the unique modifiers with global events, each event will come with challenges to complete, and new challenges will be added every single day. Completing these challenges will earn rewards based on how many you complete and rewards include unique items and return of the exotic cash. Those are 3 big additions coming with Seasons, and that's not everything either, because we still have the reward track, which has 100 levels to get through. It's very much the same as a traditional battle pass that you would get in something like Fortnite or any other type of game like Modern Warfare, for example. We then have shade levels, which will be replacing the field proficiency caches, and these grant you incremental increases in your power at level 40 for experience. Legendary difficulty is being added for the 3 original strongholds and will be the toughest difficulty setting in Warlords. Global modifiers allow you to change the difficulty of everything in the world, and global directives would allow you to add unique modifiers to every activity. There's new gear sets to chase, new brand sets, new exotics, new weapons, new apparel events, and let's not forget all the other endgame content we are used to. There's a new raid coming, the Foundry, soon, projects, control points, and more, including changes to the Dark Zone. What has become very clear when going through what's coming is there's a hell of a lot, and it's thankfully not all going to be given to us at once on day 1. It's spread over 12 weeks, meaning every week will give us something new to chase, something new to experience, and I think that's the best way for the devs to have implemented this kind of system, and I'm very happy about that. And talking of what the devs have done right, I just want to give a huge props to them for not only providing what looks to be a very good expansion, but providing a roadmap. This was something the community wanted for a very long time, for us to see exactly what is the plan for the foreseeable future, and this is something they've listened to and provided. So yeah, huge props to the devs for that. So when you consider everything that I've talked about in this video, plus the fact that I'm sure we don't know everything yet, I think there is more than enough content here. Yes, there are no replayable game modes, and yes, I would personally love to have seen these included with this update in replacement for some of the recycled content like global events or directives, which we had back in the Division. I would have preferred, a new PvE mode or a new PvP mode for sure, but there is no doubt that content should not be an issue with this expansion, and fingers crossed new game modes are added at a later stage. Seasons have turned out to be the holy grail of this expansion, which has come as a little bit of a surprise to me, if I'm being honest. If you saw my video last week, you could probably tell how reluctant I was to believe that Seasons could be the driving force of this expansion. It's not that I underestimate the developers, I'm just going from my experience with other seasons in other games, all of which for me have never really kept me playing for that long. On paper, Seasons have a lot more than I expected, and appeals to both the casual and hardcore audience, something I think the game has struggled to do. Global modifiers, directives, prime, manhunt for example, these are activities anyone can do. Legendary difficulty in leagues have a much higher barrier, so for the hardcore audience this will be perfect right away, but it gives the casual audience something to chase, something to work towards. This expansion is going to add something for everyone. Now, I'm personally most excited about leagues, I think, which a lot of you may find weird because I don't play hardcore content, but that's mainly because I don't really have the time to create the builds required for them or the time needed to actually go into these modes and try and get better at them. Now, with Gear 2.0, that should alleviate that barrier. I should find myself with much more time to actually start playing these really difficult activities, and one day, maybe, I'll become very good at them and you'll start seeing them in videos. That's my goal anyway. Let me know in the comments what you guys are looking forward to most with this expansion, content-wise. Gear 2.0 is by far my biggest excitement with this update. I'm looking forward to focusing on making builds again and showcasing them here on YouTube for you guys. I do implore the devs though to really consider the introduction of new game modes going into the future, possibly going to be year 3 now if they're going to do it at all. Game modes like Resistance for example, or Survival from the Division are the most beloved things for people to do, and I really think this will add even more replayable content to the game, and I believe the community will be even more excited than they are now for Warlords of New York. Before we end the video guys, there is an argument that whilst all of this new stuff is excellent for people who purchase the expansion, it's not available for those who don't, and that's not fair. It feels like there's a barrier in the way and people being forced to pay money. Now, I think this is a topic I may cover kind of in a whole other video rather than here, but my summarised position on this argument is Name another looter shooter game right now, and not just a looter shooter, actually any game that doesn't add expansions to their game, that won't split the player base in some way. It's become a very commonplace thing, and that's not me saying it's the right thing to do, but I just think it's unreasonable for anyone to expect the developers to put this much effort into an expansion whilst also completely overhauling the gear game and then not charge for it. I think it's unreasonable for anyone to expect that for free. The gear overhaul, maybe I could agree with. You know, if they just brought out the gear overhaul and then they expected people to pay, fair enough. But not the expansion. Definitely not the expansion. That would have taken a lot of hard work to accomplish, and they deserve to be compensated for it. That's my summarised position anyway for anyone wanting to know. Thanks for all your support, guys. I will be going live at 12 AM local time with Warlords of New York this evening or tomorrow morning, so not too long now. So if you want to tune into that, please ensure you stop by, turn notifications on, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Until later, guys. Until later this evening, guys. Epic out.